Live streaming is on.
Yeah, that's new. That wasn't here a week ago. Hi, thanks Jitsi for telling us we're on. Otherwise, I wouldn't know myself, or I could just be talking to a void. Well, not entirely a void. I'm here with three other people, three other fantastic people. Yes, we are now engaged. Hello to everyone watching this in hindsight of the future. You're watching a game. Those arranged through Gauntlet Hangouts. Gauntlet's a place on the internet where people get together and play cool tabletop role-playing games online. Check them out, gauntlet-rpg.com. They got lots of cool stuff there. I do believe if you check them out as soon as like this video is posted, they've got blogs, forums. They have a monthly zine of which the newest issue is out either today or tomorrow. Either way, it's in the 24-hour window that where this video pops up. The cool monthly zine. They have codex where supplements to existing games and original games in itself. So check that out. And also they've got Hangouts calendar to which this game is arranged. We are in the midway point of our run through of Voidheart Symphony. It's a game by Jay Isles. She of Legacy and Free from the Oak and lots of other cool stuff. Rhapsody of Blood, and this one is a modern day take on Rhapsody of Blood, where instead of doing Castlevania, we do Persona. Check out their videos for better explanation, because we're barreling through. Let's get to know who our players and the characters are for today's session. Of course, as always, got a fantastic roster. Missing one person. Hopefully, they might show up later today. If not, happens. But yeah, let's go from the start of the character keeper. David, tell us about yourself and your character and a cool thing they did last session, or just a cool thing about them in general, because all your characters are cool anyway.
Hi, yeah, I'm David. I use he, him pronouns. I'm based in the UK. I'm playing AJ Boudreau, who's a sort of high school kid in our New Orleans-ish city that we're playing in. He is he's in the provider playbook, which I keep getting the name over wrong, which is all sort of focused around kind of looking after people, that sort of thing. He is, as I say, he's a high school student. He, in the not too distant future, he lost his father, and now he's taken on a lot of responsibility helping his mother out running their little neighborhood diner that they run. The diner appears to be a bit of a hub for waifs and strays, and last session AJ was helping Lily to investigate the disappearance of one of her friends, and yeah, that was the main thing he was doing last time.
Really helps to be having a family diner that can dispense food for those who need it. Up next, we've got Ludo and your character. Tell us about yourself and your character and the cool thing they did last session.
Hello, I'm Ludo. I go by any all pronouns, and I'm playing Nadine Piaget, which goes by they, them, and they are basically the professional snitch and veteran teacher's pet that has been scrutinizing whatever has been going with the student body. And the last session, they followed the clue that Lily had, and then as there was a confrontation with some mysterious, nasty looking people that work for some pharmaceutical company, they opened the gate to the Shadow Realm and they brought everyone in. So let's see how that pays off.
Yeah, just an accidental misclick of a mysterious app that showed up on your phone. Things happen. And last but not least, Pocket, tell us about yourself and your character and the cool thing they did last session, of which there is no shortage of.
I am Puckett, he, him pronouns. I am playing a character basically kind of a street level anarchist well, the playbook is called the Heretic, but she's basically a street level anarchist, food not bombs punk named Lily Zero. And Lily is very protective of the people that she cares about, and there aren't that many, mostly because, well, she's kind of a street kid. She's one of these strays that AJ mentioned picking up along the way and actually stays at their restaurant. But she takes their food that's ready to expire, cooks it up, takes it out, feeds the local homeless population. And she's been trying to track down one of her friends, Jack Carlisle. And she got a line on him at an abandoned building, and there was a mysterious van parked in front of it with a woman standing around desperately trying to ignore her as she approached this person yelling. So Lily got her attention in a perfectly civilized and not at all illegal way that is in no way, shape, or form threatening or suggesting that injury is imminent. And they had a quite reasoned discussion using very polite language. And then Ludo Nadine actually mistakenly hit the mysterious app button on her phone. And suddenly Lily is someplace else, and there's a bunch of those vans around. And, well, she accidentally broke one of those windows, and that was a horrible thing to have happen, and I'm sure that she is very sorry about it.
Oh yeah, terribly sorry. Incredibly sorry, I'm sure. She'll make amends when she's out of this weird metaverse shadow realm.
So, Leandro, a quick question.
Go ahead.
Can we get to breaking shit now?
We'll get there. But first, before we get to the shit that is meant to be broken, let's talk about safety. Just to remind folks of the safety tools we're using for today. First off, we've got our lines and veils. Lines are things that won't be crossed, won't show up in the fiction at all. Just not going to happen. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not going to concentrate on it like you will. We'll move them off screen, or we'll fast forward over them, or give them a detail or two. But like you said, camera's not going to focus on them, so to speak. We're also using the X card for this game. Basically, what that means is that if we do roll into a scene where folks feel uncomfortable for any reason, because of any element, like a name or a detail or whatever, they can say they want to X card that on the screen or in the chat or on the roll for your party. I try to make sure that I notice all that stuff. I might ask some questions on what's being X-carded, but no one gets the question if the card is played. If it's played, it just happens, and we'll roll back and try something else. And finally, we have an open door policy. If for whatever reason folks need to step away from the table for any reason, whether there's an emergency or they were more tired than they thought, they need to step away, or they need a break at any time, you can pause the game and make sure folks are comfortable, and that can happen at any time. So it's all grand. So I'll do a very quick lightning recap of last week, because most of it was spent in the mundane realm. Basically, there was these mysterious people in suits and vans who have been, some say, abducting people in need. There is a sort of, I guess they're being enticed for this medical program, but they haven't been seen in weeks, like the aforementioned Lily's friend Jack. And so our hardy group of rebels, in between existential angst and trying to figure out their identity, trying to see where this rabbit hole goes. They got the name of a doctor, Dr. Christine Boucher. Boucher? I should make that to a T instead of an R. And yeah, thanks Nadine for bringing everyone to kind of the metaverse. And we left off with the tree view at the entrance of a parking lot, and this parking lot is massive. It's like 2 football fields of a parking lot, and it's full of black vans. It's so you're bracketed by this maze of black vans, and you can see in the distance this tall white edifice that's just with a big neon red cross in the distance. And I think and Lily looks quite normal, save for the stick that she had is now turned into some sort of staff, while the other three have transmogrified into their shadow forms. So here's just like quickly what's gonna happen to Mott while we're here. So you're all kind of like standing, and Lily's made like she wants to break shit, and there's a way, and pointing at the big hospital, but the van next to you and this is like just very quickly, the van next to you just opens up, and it's dark and you can't see what's inside, and suddenly this stream of hands grabs Mott and stuffs them in the van. Before, unless anyone wants to react, the van is just going to drive off. It's going to reverse out of their parking spot and drive.
You mean I can't hit it with my stick? I mean, I've already hit a van with a stick.
Let's see. Ooh. Let's see, I think this is a move, because so you want to hit it with your stick. Your very nice stick.
Or try to grab onto it or something like that.
Ooh, okay, all right.
I don't know. I don't know Nadine that well, but
this is Mott that's being.
Well, okay, I don't know Mott that well. Have I even met Mott? I don't think I've met Mott.
No.
Well, I mean, Mott showed up with us, so I'm assuming that Mott might be not them, and I don't like them. So, yeah. I mean, there ought to be a move in this game to do something just ill-advised and poorly considered.
Oh yeah, flow like water. When you risk danger to change your environment or your position in it, roll plus wands. And here at the start, you have to assign stats, since you're the newbie here.
All right. So what do I do with these stats, since we are in
you've got a range. Hold on, let me just open more tabs. I should have prepared for this. Symphony playbooks. So at the start, let me just very quickly. No. Sorry, I'm just making. Here we go. Okay, so at the start, you're gonna assign either a +1, a 0, or a -1. Wands is, let's see, it is wands, right? Yes. Wands is your ability to be quick thinking and creative. This is how turn the environment to your advantage, dodge with use trickery. That's what wands is. So which stat are you adding to it?
Okay, so basically it looks like I wind up at +1 overall. Is that correct? Because I'm saying -1011, -1002. So can I just do 0001?
Oh no. The two that. Wait. Where'd you get the two?
I'm looking at the stat sheet as a character keeper.
Oh yeah, no. They got those as an advance. It's like for building your shower form. You start off with assigning either a +1, a 0, a 0, or a -1 to your stats.
And let's see. So wands is for thinking quickly.
Yeah.
Now what the hell? Let's do +1.
Cool. And when you're using a move for the first time, or adding your stats for the first time, mark static.
Okay.
And roll +1s. See how you do.
Okay. Wands. That's a 6.
Ooh. Ha. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me just see
how badly that's going to go.
Yeah. So you're trying to grab for the van. Actually, does anyone want to help? The only person actually can help is anyone who has a covenant with you, and that's Nadine. Do you want to help?
Question. Because helping can risk the covenant, so who makes the decision? Who is helping or who is helped?
Who's helping?
Okay, so then I'm helping. So
Yes.
they can roll with advantage.
Yes, so they can add you can roll another die there for me.
Of a different
Lily.
color so that you know which one gets the highest result.
Sorry, say that again.
Of a different color so that then you know which one has the highest result.
Oh yes. So yeah, Lily, can you roll me another die? A different card.
I can roll another die. And let's see what color. Let's do green. That is a straight up 6.
Ooh, oh, that's good. Yes. So Nadine, tell us how you help. And this means that instead of a 6, you now have a 10.
So what is the biggest obstacle that Lily is facing that she cannot pierce and adapt to the castle?
I think it's just the disorienting nature of having all these identical black vans. Because I think it's not just this black van is driving off; it's that it's almost like the vans are shifting to take its spot, so it's a bit disorientating. And Lily's trying to go for the van that just grabbed Mott, but it's it's hard to make sense.
So Nadine pulls out their violin, and as there seems to be this confusion of vans and them going in all directions, some staying still, overlapping image of vans, and they just start pulling on the violin, and with a screeching sound, the static of the castle around seems to intensify, and suddenly most of the van seems to become blurry and glitch in and out, and suddenly they are gone, and the path is clear for Lily to jump on the van that has Mott.
Cool. So all right, so you mark static. All right, so Lily, you got a choice. On a hit, you're gonna pick one. You're where you need to be. Another rebel has a clear path to you, or a particular threat isn't a problem any longer.
Well, I mean, this van's a threat, so I think that what we do is this van is no longer a threat. Tire pops or something like that, and it stops.
Well, the thing is, okay, all right. So wait, so how does that work when you're jumping on the van and suddenly the van's tires pop? How do you make that happen? Or are you just hitting it with your stick?
I think. Yeah, this actually works. It isn't just that it's a quarterstaff. It's that it has spikes on the end so that it can also function as a spear. Not quite blades per se, but definitely pointy things at the end. So, she can use it and she can twirl it around, but she doesn't have to really worry about getting cut, because it's just a sharp pokey bit at the end, which is more than enough to take care of the van's tire.
Cool. All right. So this tire screeches to a halt, and I think it screeches to a halt and almost comically flops on its side, kind of, and just and you literally stop this van. What do y'all do?
I start beating on the van with my quarterstaff, just hitting it, just flailing away at it. Not just on the roof, driver, the windshield, that sort of thing. Just smashing on it, trying to get people out of it.
Yeah. I'm gonna make everything worse.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna roll see clearly, and I'm not very good at this, so I hope this is going to go bad.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I don't know why you'd want things to go bad, but okay.
Because this is a PBTA game, and it goes bad. I get a 6, so I get the answer to one of the questions, but it makes things worse. Perfect. Just what I'm looking for.
Okay.
So, what can the enemies here do?
Okay. So the windows of the van are tinted black. Lily beats on it, and oh wow, sorry, I just noticed in Ludo's screen there's a mirror behind. I can see myself. Oh wow, that's weird. Damn coffee. Anyway, so Lily's beating up this van. The van door opens, and what's like 10 different heads pop out of the van because it's on its side, and they're all like they're all wearing sunglasses, and they're all very nondescript and samey, and
Is this
honestly,
a
they all
fascist
look.
clown van or what?
Oh yeah, no, they all look like Chris Hemsworth. It's really distracting. And they kind of they pour out of the van, and it's a sudden movement, so they're kind of gonna push you back, Lily. They won't get any harm, don't worry. They're just gonna push you back as they kind of like arrange themselves in a way that they're kind of like blocking. They're surrounding you. These 10, no, 12, no, 15, sort of this horde of Hemsworths, the Hemsworth horde, so to speak, just starts blocking your view from your entryway towards your path towards the hospital. AJ, you've how are you feeling? What's up, man?
Yeah, I think as these agents pour out of the van, I think AJ is going to leap forwards and basically try and fend them off, spinning his quad staff around, and basically trying to push them back so that we can get to safety.
Cool. All right, so that's a face the horde. Roll
Sure
plus
thing.
Yeah, what can the enemies here do? Well, I think. Oh yeah, I should have answered the Nadine's question. So yeah, these Hemsworths come out of this van, and I think right now the world around you is blurry, Nadine, because you pulled that trick where it's just this one van, but you can feel like movement in those vans you've kind of covered up. So like, there's more of these folks in them. They kind of just multiply. They're sorry, they're not a group of Hemsworth, they're a group of Chris's. There we go. That makes more sense. Yes, and your covenant increases. Well, Nadine's covenant. Well, actually, let me double check that.
And isn't it called a Thor of Hemsworths at this point? Since we've got a full dozen.
Yeah. Maybe. Just maybe. All right. Roll face the horde. Roll plus swords. How did that go, AJ?
That's a 9.
Cool. On a 7. All right. You're gonna tear on a hit. You're gonna tear through them. Say how, but on 7 to 9, pick 2.
I think that I think that I'm going to go for. So yeah, as I say, I'm going to basically leap into them, spinning this like spiky brambled cord staff around me, and it. I think because I like knock them back and sort of clear a space to the back of the van. But I think as I'm driving them back, for a start, there's this weird static that like glitches out of them as I hit them. So I'm going to get some on me and mark static. And I think I'm possibly separated, trapped, or imperiled.
Yeah, because I'm imagining that like you're clearing this group, and the van is kind of like to the left of y'all, so you're kind of heading towards like the left, away from the other two. Because what happens is, Nadine, the illusion kind of like flickers, and you can hear van doors opening as like oh no, here's what happens. The van doors don't open. Instead, they shift, they drive forward, and they block AJ. They separate AJ from the other two. And so AJ, you're kind of fighting back all these Chris's and beating them back. But you can see the vans around you kind of shift. And you can see that the path you came through is now a wall of vans. And go on, Lily.
I was going to say, can I do something poorly considered and ill-advised?
All right.
I want to run onto the van that's closest to me and jump into the fray here over this wall of van. I want to jump into the full-on Thor of Hemsworths by leaping over the wall of van, by running onto a van and jumping off of it.
Okay. So I think this is navigating the labyrinthian corridors of this castle. I'm basically treating this parking lot as a big maze.
Okay.
All right. So you are gonna roll when you this is travel the labyrinth. When you navigate the corridors of the castle, you're gonna roll plus static marked.
Okay. So that means I'm rolling +2, correct?
Yes.
That's an 11.
All right. So on a hit, on a hit, say what you understand better about this ward. And when I say this ward, this parking lot, this is like the ward. This is a ward of the castle. This entire parking lot of vans and Chris's and whatnot. So tell me what you understand better as you're kind of leaping around this wall, trying to get to AJ.
Well, because I'm coming in aerially,
Mhm.
we're obviously going to be able to easily leave the area.
Mm.
I mean, I can see like all the twists and turns of this thing. So,
All right. So yeah, it's this specific area. All right. So you're gonna gain 1 trace. Note that down. Trace is for things you're gonna spend that when you get shelter, basically. So
all right. And then where do we note trace?
I haven't put it there because honestly I didn't look at the moves until making this. Just note it down underneath
Notes or something like that.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I should make notes. Oh, reminder for next week. Yeah, and then you're gonna pick 2 from the travel the labyrinth list.
Okay. So, and that's 2 more, correct?
Yes. Yeah. On a 10 plus, because you rolled a 12, you're gonna pick 2.
Okay.
So
I picked 2 more or 1 more?
One more. What exactly?
On
No.
travel the labyrinth.
Just pick 2 from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've already got easily leaving the area. There's something valuable in the next area.
All right. Cool. So when we get to the next area. For sure. I think Nadine, you'll see Lily like kind of like easy traverse through. I think you can definitely follow her example. If that's all right, because there's nothing you're splitting the 2 of you from the moment. I think definitely Lily and Nadine, you 2 can like see when you're gonna traverse like these vans. You can see the next area. You can see like there's like a brightly lit sort of like building surrounded by these vans, and you can see there's people kind of there, just like these blobs of like people, and you can see that there's like floodlights kind of like surrounding this area. There's like it's like a small shack. No, not a small shack. It's more like it's more like a guard post. You can see like floodlights kind of around it, and you see like people being processed. There's like a table, and there's like this weird like almost metal detecting machine, sort of, and you can see like people kind of being processed towards it. And there's a queue of them. There's a line of them going through, and I think you, Lily and Nadine, can see that as they're on the vans. Sorry, you're on top of the vans. Before I cut to what Nadine wants to do, let's cut a bit to AJ. So you're fighting the Chris's. You're beating them off easily enough. I think there's a point where they just kind of like stop, and then you realize, yeah, you're a bit lost there. Um,
Yeah. So I think I'm going to kind of drop into a a sort of wary stance, and do that sort of thing of just like taking a couple of deep breaths whilst they're kind of regrouping, and look around at the vans around me, and see if I can spot a way out. And I think I'm going to go for a what's it called? See clear, if that's okay.
Cool. Yes. I think where you are at, you're kind of in a bit of a crossroads. Obviously, there's the path behind you, but there's like 3 paths in front of you, and this weird parking lot labyrinth. So yeah, roll plus coins.
That's my first time marking that one, so
Ooh, get more static.
and that's a 3.
Wow. Dave. Okay, ask a question, but prepare for the worst.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the obvious one really for the situation, which is which exit takes me to my goal.
Yeah, so the vans arrange themselves once more until there is only one path, the one right in front of you. And in the distance, you can see Mott. There's Mott right there. Z's sees you, and their face lights up, and they raise a hand, and then in the darkness behind them, a gigantic hand comes out of the shadows and grabs Mott and pulls them into the darkness. And behind you, you can hear the vans rearrange until there's like a fleet of them right behind you. And the car lights open, and you can hear them revving up. What do you do?
Yeah, I think I'm going to run towards where Mott disappeared and away from the vans.
Yeah, so roll plus wands. That's a flow like water. Good luck.
That's looking like a no, because I think ones is my that's only a 6.
Oh boy. So you know how in like some TV shows or movies you can just run away from a car? Well, you can't here. Yeah, you try to run, but their van is gonna smash against you, and you're kind of like gonna be like pinned on top of the van. You're kind of like spread eagled on top of the van as it kind of smashes against you. You are gonna take let's see how much harm can folks grab. You're gonna take 2 harm, which is me being generous, or you can take a wound.
I think I'll just take the 2 harm for now.
Cool. No, that reminds me, I need to update this as well because I had to add another thing to the wound stuff. I'll do that in the break. Yeah, so let's cut from AJ. Flowers and everything on top of a van. You just smashed against it and then driving off to God knows where. All right, Nadine, you're with Lily. You can see, this processing center. What do you do?
So, as there are these floodlights covering basically the path to the processing center, and we are swinging on top of these vans, Nadine swings to the side so that they are covered in the shadow, and they basically try to jump between wall jump and van jump to sneakily approach the floodlights and destroy them somehow, allowing them to sneak inside.
Ooh, all right. Okay, so
Flow like water, I guess.
Yes. And that's gonna like decide whether you get to the floodlights and destroy them.
8.
8. So on a hit, you're just gonna pick one. Pick one, and then I'll decide what the cost is going to be.
Well, I'm gonna say I get where I need to be. So basically, that I get to the floodlights, but I guess the cost is going to be what I need to do to destroy it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think what's gonna happen is, how do you destroy the floodlights? What are you doing to destroy that?
So I get to the top, and then to the floodlights, and they don't seem to be. There. I was expecting lamps and electronics, but there's nothing. There's only wandering lights, casting even bigger shadows. So I'm out of a way to do it. So I feel the static flowing through me. I know that I must interact with the castle and force my will to change the floodlights into darkness. There is nothing that I can actually physically manipulate.
Cool. Yes. So I think yes, definitely. You have to tap into the nature of the castle. So you're gonna mark static. Just mark 1 as you kind of like twist the nature of the castle and get these floodlights to. I think these floodlights aren't just gonna turn off. They're just gonna like burst. They're gonna break. And suddenly all that's left is like, the general ambient light. The weird, I think they describe the sky as like a weird mixture of green and red. And I think, yeah, the static is gonna like surge into you, Nadine. Lily, so Lily, you see like, yeah, this processing center, and you can see like the people in the queue, and I'm imagining there's like, again, 15 people waiting, and the folks who have gone to like the metal detector, they've just marched off into like, again, the weird labyrinth of the vans. But yeah, there's still 10 people, and they all look really confused. And
How can I tell this is a processing center?
I think because there's a gigantic neon sign saying processing center.
Okay,
There's
fair
a weird metaverse where it's they're very blunt about what they need
Okay.
to be.
Well, that sounds way more authoritarian and fascist than I have any use for. What do I see that I can break?
There's the big like I said metal detector like gate, but it's
Mhm.
bigger than that. It's big and like silver and whatnot, and it's next to like, yeah, this like small little guard post sort of building. But you can see like doesn't seem like there's anyone in the guard post. It's like this big metal detector has wires running into the guard post. It's like a guard post is basically just like a one-room bungalow of sorts. And yeah, there's like 10 to 15, there's 15 people just looking very confused. But
And,
yeah,
and these vans are now moving? Did I catch that
Um,
correctly?
no, the van. Basically, imagine the vans are like walls that can move, and right now
Yeah.
these vans are not moving.
Okay. For some reason, I thought that these vans were in motion because it sounded like Nadine was jumping from van to van while they were moving and like doing all sorts of fun acrobatics. Where's AJ?
You don't know.
AJ
Don't know. Don't know where he is.
because the van shifted? Is that
Yes, right now AJ is. Well, you don't know this, but AJ's on top on the van windshield, being driven off to God knows where. But you don't know where he is. Lily doesn't.
So there's a guard tower at the gate to this processing center, right?
Yes. Well, it's not so much a tower; it's more like a bungalow.
guard
Mentioned.
bungalow?
Yeah, it's a one-story, one-room building.
Okay. That sounds like fun. I want to break that.
Tell me how you do it.
Are there any entities or beings inside it?
Ooh. How does Lily find out? Like,
I believe she
PBTA,
kicks
do it,
the
you
door
do it. Oh, say that again, sorry?
I believe she kicks the door open.
Yeah, I just marched past all the people being processed. They all look very confused and clueless. Yeah, so I think you just barge in and you'll see there's nobody there. All you'll see is like it's a bare sort of dingy room. There's lots of wires and coming in from outside through a wall, and they're all connected to like this big computer, big ass monitor.
Oh.
Oh, go on.
So am I just seeing a monitor or am I seeing actual like CPUs, desktop machines. Am I seeing something that looks like a control console?
Yeah. I think it's more. Yeah, it's more like a control console. You see, like it's not so much a monitor. It's like a big screen on the TV, not on the TV, on the wall, and it's connected to like computer banks and whatnot. And you can see processing on the monitor is like just details or whatnot, names and just people details and whatnot. And you can see like they're in the middle of processing something when process halt because the folks outside have stopped going through the metal detector after the floodlights broke.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you do?
Is there a van nearby?
There's always a van nearby.
I'm going to walk out of this little guard post shack thing, smash the driver's side window of a van, unlock the door, get in it, and I want to hotwire it.
Okay. I think I think you're gonna
Do I need to roll for that?
No. I
Assume that
think
Lily is sufficiently.
yeah. No, I think that's not that's not the interesting bit that I want to challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, you can totally hotwire it.
Okay, so I've hotwired the van. I'm just going to drive the van through the stupid guard post.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna modify face the horde to be like this because you're confronting something head on. It's gonna roll plus swords. Swords is your ability to take direct action against your foes. So
Okay.
this is what it is. Use it for fighting hordes or destroying things, stuff like that. So yeah.
And let's see. I mark static and I have to mark it as something I have already used. So there's 0. So static is now 3 of 5.
Oh, you're getting there.
Alrighty. So roll with nothing. That's a 9.
Nice. So on a hit, you're gonna tear through them. How do you do it? You just burst through the walls.
Let's see. You see, I have a plan here.
Mhm.
So what I want to do is actually drive the van into the guard post, like where I saw the computer banks, and I want it to stop there. So it's not quite precision driving because there's gonna be some mass making it easier for me to stop. So basically she just guns it and just drives into it, crashes through the wall. I'm reasonably certain that given this kind of environment, they're probably not adhering to any kind of acceptable safety standards. So I don't have to worry about an airbag going off in my face. And then, I'm sure that the door is difficult to open. So I just climb out to the driver's side window that I smashed. But here's where it gets fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to puncture the gas tank on the van with the pointy end of my quarterstaff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to watch as the gas rolls away. I'm going to tell the people in that line, get out of here. And as soon as it's, I'm guessing 40, 50 feet worth of gas trickle should be enough for me to light it on fire to blow it up.
Cool. So you still need to pick 2 from the face the horde move. There's consequences for that too. 7 to 9.
I'll take static.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm now at static 4 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, face the horde. What's the other one I want? I think I'm separated, trapped, or imperiled. And if I get a choice between those 3, I would say separated is probably the best. Is the best one. There's gonna be some fire here, so that might separate Nadine and I.
Oh yeah. Let's split the party. It's great. It's great. Great maxim to hold true to. All right. So you like this van, and you poured enough gas. It's gonna. It's gonna blow up this this bungalow guard post for sure. And I think the intensity of it is such that it is probably like a bigger explosion than expected. Well, it's big enough to incinerate this building. Nadine, where are you when this happens?
So I'm suppose I'm on the rooftop where the searchlights were, and I just finished pitching the entire thing in darkness, and then there are purple flames just coming everywhere. And I cover my eyes, and as I finally it clears, I only see smoke in every direction. It's pitch dark and smoky everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's kind of I think as the smoke clears, you'll see that Nadine, you're not at that guard post anymore, and in fact, you're just around you is just more vans. There's not I think in the smoke, you heard a lot of wheels revving as if the maze is reconfiguring itself to shit, we lost one of our areas. We need to reconfigure, and I think it reconfigures around you, Nadine, to the point where there's a path behind you, path to your left and right. You're in the middle of a crossroads now, Nadine. Quite a bit separated from where Lily is. And I think you can hear the revving of wheels behind you. And you know what? We've reached an hour. Let's take a break for let's say that's a good break. Let's take a good 10. And then we'll cut to AJ and see how he's doing. And let's see what happens. Oh god, you're all separated. Oh shite. Okay. All right. Let's take 10. Y'all can go. I just need to set up the video.
your bones. There's nothing inside. Will it unleash me, burning down the walls? Is there a way for me to break? I'm a sharpshooter at post masquerade. I'm in both face and mind, all three for you to throw. I'm a sharpshooter, have no face to show. Please don't take off my mask, like the sky.
Sorry, I've been back for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, Leandro's still not back anyway.
I'm right here.
Oh, wizardry.
Yeah, sorry, I just I was too caught up in the chill beats. I'd forgot to turn my camera back on.
Not same. I have been here for the past 2 minutes, chewing on some crispy caramel M&Ms, just listening to the music. But sadly, we have to save your characters from the. Ah, Christ. Okay, so let's cut to you, AJ. You're probably not feeling well, I assume. No. Oops. So yeah, you're on top of this van, and you can't tell where it's going. As kind of like these vans kind of just drive around. I think distantly you can hear an explosion just sort of happen. But yeah. Is there anything you want to do? I think you're being driven towards a destination, but is there anything you want to do before you get to that destination?
Yeah, that's. I'm trying to decide whether, because on the one hand, I figure there's a good chance this van is trying to take me to wherever Mott has been taken, so maybe I should let them take me. On the other hand, that explosion likely is related to one of us, so I could head that way. I think I'm going to like crouch down on top of the van and sort of hang on to it and see where it's going for now.
Okay, cool. Do you want to like just yeah, I'm not gonna make your roll move unless you're not doing it. Yeah, you're just crouching down. I
don't think there's a particular move that's I'm aiming for here. Because I don't think I'm the only one I was thinking maybe was seeing clear, but I don't think it's quite got to that point yet.
That's fair enough. I need to like look at the thing. Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, safety, sure. I think you'll find that it's hard to like just cling to this van for a bit, but like the kind of like walls around you, the van walls, they go start repetitive for a moment. I think it feels like it's probably only just 5 minutes, but it feels like hours that you're kind of clinging to this windshield until like when suddenly all the walls kind of clear out and you're in a more open space. You can see. Well, I say open space. It's more like it's like an open square. It's still surrounded by like parked vans, but in this square, you can see in the distance the hospital is like just a tiny bit closer than you were before, the big building. But yeah, the van's just gonna stop, and you're kind of dumped off, and you're kind of like just in this open space, just an open concrete space, and you can see dimly like van walls in the distance. You can't tell how big the space is. You can just see like the big, just big white hospital in the distance, and you can see in the middle of the square is Mott. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm going to advance towards Mott. I'm going to kind of keep my eyes peeled for any, ambush or anything like that. But I'm going to sort of head towards them.
Is this not trying to read a dangerous situation?
Yeah, it probably is at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. Robust coins.
That would be a 5.
Wow, what
Yeah.
is up with these dice rollers today? Like, that's vicious. Oh boy. You can still ask one question. Prepare for the worst.
Yeah, I guess I will ask. I suppose again, it has to be the obvious question. It was what I was looking for. Am I going to get ambushed as I move towards Mott?
Let's see, what should be on the lookout for? Funnily enough, Alex just messaged me asking if it's too late to jump in. But actually, you know what? I'm gonna wait for them to show up and I'll give you an answer.
Sure thing. That sounds good.
Give them a minute or so. Actually, no, there might still be like a little preparing, so I'll just give you the answer. Well, the thing that you should have noticed is that Mott isn't in their shadow form. I think you don't get noticed until you get close. Oh, wait, hold on. There's what's up?
Sorry about that.
No worries.
With me at the worst of times.
No worries, it happens. Like, it happened to me before I overslept for a Spire session and didn't get there till the last third, which meant my character did fuck all, and that was the finale of that series. But anyway, it happens. It happened. So I'll give you a quick recap of what's been happening. So we're in the first ward of this part of the castle, which is basically a maze of vans on this parking lot. The first thing that happened is that the van next to you, Mott, opened up, and it's like 10 arms grabbed you and stuffed you in the van. The van tried to drive off, but Lily, because Lily likes to break shit, managed to like use her staff to like bust the van's tires, and it flipped. And then Nadine failed a roll, and the van doors open. Out popped up a bunch of what we called Hemsworths, but now we're just calling them Chris's. It's like all these like indistinct men in suits and sunglasses came out and started swarming the place. AJ managed to hold them off and beat them back, but got separated because the vans are basically like walls in this maze, and cut them off from the other two. The other two, Lydia and Nadine, moved on to the next area, which is kind of like a weird processing center where a bunch of people were being processed going through this weird metal gate. Nadine blew the floodlights, letting Lily get into a van and blow up the place, but separating the two of them once more. AJ saw what looked like Mott in the distance because he failed a roll. And just as he made his way towards that Mott, giant hand came from the darkness, grabbed that Mott into the darkness, and then a bunch of vans came barreling behind AJ and smashed into him. He's been clinging to the windshields, and they just deposited him on a open square. The hospital is just a bit closer, and what looked like Mott was in the middle of the square, and AJ went up to them, but failed another roll. And you're not there, Mott. I'll just say right now, we'll cut to you as soon as we clarify this. And yeah, so AJ, you get close to Mott and you ask like what you've been looking out for. You should have noticed that this Mott isn't in there. Well, actually, Mott, can you describe me what your shadow form is again?
Oh, it's regular Mott and like the chatty street magician wear, but with like a dark red liquid for yeah, dark red liquid face.
Ooh. I think it kind of looks like that. The AJ Zerbak was turned to you, so you can see, yeah, tattered magic outfit and like what looks like a dark red like sort of head, and yeah, they turn around. Do you call out to Mott?
Yeah, I probably will. I'll say, Mott, are you okay?
They turn around, and as they turn around, it's almost like the color on them switches. So like the magician's outfit turns red as they turn around, and their face just becomes like this nightmarish like confection of colors and whatnot. And as they turn around, they kind of grab you the hands and kind of like make you lean close, and you can, and they're looking at you as their eyes, and just analyzing you, almost like analyzing you, and their grip is strong on your hand, and you can feel like again the castle just for a moment the castle flickers around you, as if like this thing's presence shouldn't be at this part of the castle. The only thing that's solid is the two of you, Mark Static. And they say, now, why in the hell am I supposed to be interested with you? Let's cut to Mott. Mott, you got grabbed by a bunch of hands. And I think there's a blurry darkness, and you can feel the van around you flip and whatnot, but you can feel like the van floor underneath you sort of just give out, and you kind of feel like suddenly you're falling in midair almost for a moment, and suddenly you're feels like you're seated, and suddenly like this flickering light kind of like opens up, and you're in what looks like another van space. It's like a small van space, but what looks like 10 different heads of different, like, Chris's is looking at you. You can't see like their bodies because there's so many of them. It's overcrowded. It's almost like crouching down. So all you can see are their heads. There was that, not to bring up a random video from Twitter, but there was that one where there was that sorority welcoming all their new sorority mates, and when it looks like just like a cavalcade of heads when they open the door. It's kind of like that. And they're just looking at you, and they got sunglasses. And then they kind of speak in, yeah, exactly, that short horror film. Yeah, they speak in one voice. Well, multiple voices all at once. You're not human. You are not of that world. You do not exist in that world. Who are you?
I think Mott will like scramble back a bit at these creepy talking heads. Be like, I know. I mean, I don't know, but how do you know?
Everything is recorded. Everything has a footprint. Everyone has a mark in the world. We know of your associates. Once they set foot in this castle, we know of AJ Bordeaux, we know of Lily Zero, we know of Nadine Piaget, but we don't know you. You have no footprint. You have no history. You have no identity. Who are you?
I wish I knew. Now that we've finished this very useful conversation, is there any chance you could let me out of here?
We will find out who you are. We will bring you to the doctor, and she will extrapolate from you everything that needs to be known. You can hear the van moving. beneath your feet as these 10 Chris's just kind of keep their eye on you.
And Mott will like straighten up the lapels, correct the top hat, and you're like, oh, well, why didn't you say so earlier? There's a lot of stuff I want to know as well.
So you're just gonna sit there and be like, all right, no, yeah, we're taking to
Yeah.
the doctor.
You're taking me to the doctor. I'll go see who the doctor is. I have no idea where I am. Might as well.
Okay, all right. I think when you're gonna say that, the Chris's keep talking and say that before we must take you to the doctor, we must process you. We must determine your attributes, your characteristics before the doctor will see you. And I think the van stops and the door opens. And again, this big hand almost kind of like pads in, almost blindly padding in. And it kind of goes around and almost like kind of like touches like the Chris's faces. And then it's going to pad around and it's going to grab you. You're going to let it grab you or you're going to be fine.
I mean, sure. We can see like we would be able to see the clear discomfort on Mott's face, but it's liquid right now. So I think we just see like Mott stiffen up a little. But it's like, okay. This isn't too bad yet. I can take this.
Yeah, the hand kind of like feels your face, and it's big. The fingertip is as big as your head, so when it's patting you, it's it's trying to be gentle, but then it kind of like, it kind of like curls to grab your body, kind of like rubs its thumb on your face. Yeah. And when it like, when it kind of like moves to like, move you out of the van, you see that you're not at the hospital yet. You're still kind of like, it's kind of like in the weird parking lot maze of vans, but you can see the hospital is very close, the big white edifice, and the hand that reached for you is coming from this pile of Chris's, this like this big amorphous blob of like different of all these men in suits. And you can see for a moment, Mott, that the hand that's holding you kind of flickers, and you can see that it's made up of more Chris's. Like the fingers holding you is each a Chris, and this kind of blob sort of blocks the path towards the hospital, and it kind of like smacks you ungracefully in front of it, and the hand kind of like retreats back into the blob. The blob kind of leans forward, and again it arranges itself so like a bunch of Chris heads kind of look at you. I'm imagining, a bunch of Chris Hemsworths, a bunch of Chris Pratts, some Chris Pines, maybe an Evans or two. It's kind of like, rearrange it, almost like reach in front of you and say again, you are not human, but you are friends with humans.
Tell me something I don't know. Are we done here?
Why are you friends with humans if you're not one?
I don't know. They seem like cool people. They help me out when I'm in danger. Helping me track down someone I'm trying to look for. They don't manhandle me in weird vans full of all of their heads. It's a pretty clear option.
I think the Chris's heads kind of like, some of them kind of cock their head one way and some of them cock the other. So it's like if you raise two eyebrows, but they somehow go in separate directions. It's a bit noxious. And they say, the doctor is interested in you, but they need more information. You will stay here until we have found that information.
How are you
Information.
gonna find that?
Yeah, no, say that. What did you say? Sorry, what's the question?
Oh, how are you gonna find that information?
You will give us why you are in the human world, but others will give why they choose to be friends with you. We will seek those people first, and we will take them, and we will know them, and through them we will know you. And I think the heads kind of lean back, and you can see like them in the mass of like suits and bodies. Things kind of move around, and like what looks like a computer screen or a television monitor kind of like pokes out, and they're static, and then it plays a scene that it's moonlight on a playground, and you hear Max saying, "Sure, okay, I'll look for your other self, your literal other self. Okay, all right, okay." And then you hear the Chris's say, "Unlike you, Max is known to us. Max Duchamps, age, etc., etc. Activist extraordinaire. He is of importance now, thanks to you."
Oh no. Oh no. I mean,
Yeah.
are you sure you don't want to start with my friends in here? Like, sure, they may be able to beat you in a fight, but they also know a lot about me.
I think the static, the screen turns to static again, and when it pops up, let's cut to you, Lily. So the explosion has happened, and I think you've blown up the guard post, and like when the smoke kind of clears.
Excuse me. I
Okay.
did not blow up the guard post. The van blew up the guard.
Uh-huh.
I just
Mhm.
I will not tolerate libel slander against my character. I blew up that thing.
Mhm.
The van.
Mhm. The van just happened to crash into the guard post, and it just happened to puncture its gas tank, and you just happened to be in the vicinity.
Oh no, I punctured the gas tank, and
Mhm.
I lit the gas that leaked from it on fire. It's just that all of these things are separate events. The van just exploded.
Yeah, there's no
Exactly.
causality. No,
I
there's
didn't
no.
crit them. My hand did. My hand has a mind of its own. I mean, with all these crits heads everywhere, I mean that's actually a reasonable excuse.
Yeah. Let's see how that holds up in court. So the smoke clears. The building is basically exploded, but you're still kind of like these 15 people, and they're kind of huddled near around, and you hear someone go, "What the fuck?" And it's a familiar voice. What does Jack look like?
Oh, he's an old white dude, gray beard, matted hair. He's wearing a green army jacket that says Carlisle on the little strip. Usually wears some sort of knit beanie, try to keep his head warm. I'm not sure that he was ever actually in the military, but well, you wear what keeps you warm and is durable. So
Yeah, so you hear Jack's voice going, "What the fuck, Lily? What was that?"
it's about damn time. I've been looking for you for days. I mean, you disappeared a couple of weeks. I mean, what the hell? Where have you been?
Well, obviously, so I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to tell you, but communications kind of like, it's tough during rehab. Okay, communications kind of like cut off for a moment. I wish I could have told you, but
Rehab?
yeah. Well, rehab testing, it's a lot of things. Look, it was a bit of a package deal, and I didn't have much time to decide to do it, so I took this.
Dude, listen. I don't know if if you're aware of this, but this is not any kind of inpatient rehab facility. I mean, look around you. This is like a death camp, dude. What the hell?
Well, this is just the opening. This is just the foyer. I was about to go in there and see what they've got.
I mean, you were just about to go in there. I know there were a bunch of people going in there. I didn't know that you were in this group, but I stopped them from doing it. Dude, look at this place. What the hell about this place seems like anything about being here is a good idea.
I think he looks around and you can see like his eyes aren't getting what you're seeing. And he says, well, it's a hell of a lot better than where I was. For damn sure.
Dude, did they inject you with anything or?
No, they're very clear on what they're giving us. It's a bunch of pills and a bunch of questionnaires. And for a couple of weeks, we get to stay at a very nice recreational facility, and we get to lie in actual beds, Lily. Actual beds. Imagine that.
Jack, listen to me. I don't know what you think you're seeing. This place is like the opposite of Disneyland. Like if every single thing about Disneyland was inverted and made as bad as it could possibly be, well, you still wouldn't get this bad, but I mean, dude, this place is objectively terrible.
Of course you'd say that, Lily. You're someone who always has to fight against everything. Like,
you're right, especially when I see things like this. But Jack, I'm going to get you out of here.
Well, I don't want to get out of here, Lily, huh? Are you going to respect that?
This way, I'm going to do enough damage to this place that you're not really going to have an option to stay. Because it's going to be worse than back, well, home, I guess, for lack of a better word.
It's only going to be worse because you're going to make it. Stop being so fucking selfish, Lily.
Jack, if I were being selfish, I would just leave this, whatever the hell it is, shithole.
Then why don't you?
Let you rot. But I am not being selfish because you are my friend and I care about you. And this place is awful. These people are fascists, Jack. They're awful, 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 terrible people. This place is an authoritarian nightmare. I mean, what did you think I was going to do when I found you? If I found you in something like this, did you think I was just going to sit there and not let everything remain standing? You were the one who taught me how to make napalm out of stuff that I could find under somebody's sink.
I taught you that because we were having fun. We were enjoying ourselves. But there's a point where everything just becomes tiring. And Lily, I'm fucking tired.
And guess what?
Done for.
You get to be fucking tired until you are dead. You are not dead yet. You get to continue being tired because that's what living is. But the time for fun is over. I'm glad you taught me all that stuff when we were having fun, because now I'm going to use every single bit of what you taught me to tear this place down and get you and everyone else here to safety.
I think Jack kind of yeah.
You know what I know, Jack? If I were
and
you,
what you know is always right, isn't it?
Jack,
nobody gets to say no to Lily Zero.
You know what you taught me. And if I were in your shoes, I would start running in the opposite direction from every single building.
Well, I'm not going to run. What are you going to do about that?
I'm going to crack him over the head with my quarterstaff and drag him off.
Roll plus swords.
All right. Have I used swords before? Yes, I have.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't mark anything for once.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a 4. Do I mark XP for that?
No, there's no XP here. Okay, here's what's going to happen. You crack him with the staff, and your staff kind of like sticks to his face, and his face kind of like with the consistency of like jelly kind of starts absorbing your staff into him. It's gonna now here's the consequence. It's gonna take the staff out of your hands as it's kind of like swallowed inside him.
So is it protruding from him? Like, are there any grips or?
No, it's swallowed inside him now. It's this is the consequence. This is a hard move I'm making. I'm depriving you of your staff.
Huh. Right.
And I think Jack says, I think what you'll find here, Lily, is that you can say you want to blow up a lot of stuff, but you have to deal with the consequences of that.
Okay. Can I see my staff in him? Is he kind of like, slightly transparent?
No, that's a weird thing. He still looks just like Jack.
So is there any sign that the staff still exists inside him?
You want to find out? You want to try and find out?
So I gotta be me. There's only a few places that staff could be absorbed into a human body and not be visible. So I'm just going to kick him square in the nuts, because if he is jelly, I figure I'll be able to figure out with my foot where the staff is if it's in there.
Okay.
Ludo seemed to like that idea.
What, kick him in the nuts? Yeah. Save the story in the nuts. Okay, so
I'm going far enough to get something, because it's got to go down one leg or the other.
Okay, all right. That's assuming you're in a physical realm where physics are here too. Okay, so this is
Could have gone some kind of tesseract space or non-Euclidean realm or something. Sure, but
okay.
This is science. I have a hypothesis. I'm testing it.
Okay. I'm gonna say I'm trying to figure out which of these moves, because there's like these 4 basic moves. I think there's another. You're kicking him in the nuts. You're kind of. Actually, no. This is like reading if you want to find where the staff is reading a dangerous situation.
All right. So what do I roll with for
You're
that?
gonna roll with coins. This is your ability to use the world around you to your advantage.
So what is cups? What is that?
Cups is the strength of your passion's ability to open your heart. You're gonna need that for when you later when you have to fight a thing, or when you have to attune yourself to a token.
Do -1 with coins then.
Okay.
And doesn't that mean I get 1 more shadow or static?
Yes. When you reach 5 static, you're gonna erase them and gain 1 shadow. So you're gonna awaken to your shadow self here. So this is why I want you to roll plus coins, because you're gonna get your staff back, because you're gonna like what do you say to this Jack as you kind of like kick him? Actually, no, what's the roll? Actually, roll first. Let's see how you roll well first before you get to your awaken your shadow self. It's still gonna happen because you're using a stat you have not used before. That's a 5. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Let's away. Okay. That's a 5. All right. You know what? I'm gonna cut away from you for a moment to give you time to, when you gain 1 shadow, you're gonna add 1 to a stat of your choice. Pick your first shadow look, 2 castle moves, and your trademark gear. And you're gonna get a weapon with that gear as well. So I'm gonna cut away from you while you figure out what's all that stuff. Is that cool?
Sure.
Cool. Let's cut to Nadine. Nadine, you're in a random corridor. All 4 of you are away from each other. All right. Let's figure this out. Nadine, you're kind of cut off. I think, okay, here's kind of what happens, kind of in response to everything. And I think, Mott, you see this as well in the weird Teletubby-esque screen that's on this blob's tummy. It cuts from it cuts from Lily to Nadine, who is just like, you're in a one corridor of vans. How are you feeling, first and foremost?
Well, I'm feeling lost because it seems that everything that we accomplished so far is turned on us, and we lost any advantage that we gained. It seems that the labyrinth is reforming, and now we are even worse because we are completely separated. And now there are two alternative paths, and there is the approaching sound of wheels. So Nadine is pressured to make a decision, and the spectral shadows of the dance macabre flirt around her, around them, and there's one shadow in particular that seems strong, an imperial shadow that stands among. I'm using my castle move for the Empress.
All right, let me read that out for the benefit of everyone else. The Empress haunts you, gauzy and insubstantial. When you ask the spirit for advice, roll plus Empress, and you have an Empress of 2.
Okay, so I have an 8.
Cool.
So I turn to the Imperial Spectre that represents my bound to Richard Boulay, and I ask her, which way can I get to my friends?
I think I'll pick one of the 7 to 9.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Promise. They ask you to promise something before it answers.
Okay. I think the shimmering shadow form of Richard Boulay kind of like comes in and out, and he says, you dedicate so much to saving everyone else, and that's good. That's what we're meant to do. We're educators. We look out for everyone. But there are times when we could stand to be a bit selfish. So I ask you, please, could you save me? You're muted.
Save you? What that even means? And as the approaches, yes, of course, I'm gonna save you. You're more of a parent to me than my parents ever were. Of course, I will save you. But now, quick!
I think I smiles and says, hold on, let me double check something. Yes. What was the question again? What do you need to do to get where you need to go? Or
Yeah, which of the two pets I need to take to get to my friends?
I think he smiles and he says, and he kind of turns to look at the approaching vans and says, they'll take you where you need to go. And disappears. The vans are coming.
Yeah, I don't like that answer. So I guess I'll try to find my own way before I give in to the vans, because there is not a problem to find the vans, to be honest.
The vans will just, well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna try to travel the labyrinth?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can make it on my own.
Okay.
Apparently I can, because I got an 11.
Oh, hell yeah. On a yeah. So what do you understand better about this parking lot ward?
Sorry, what?
What do you understand better? Because on a hit, say what you understand better about this place, as in this parking lot maze of vans.
The problem here, and that's why we keep getting lost, is that we are thinking about it as a labyrinth that keeps reforming. But the truth is that the labyrinth is just an eternal repetition across time of the same van. And of course, that's why it keeps reforming. We can move through time and space, but so did what created the labyrinth in the first time. It's everything is after image. So the only way to get across the labyrinth is to realize that and to divorce from the linear nature of time and space and treat the walls of the labyrinth as they are just as temporary as anything else. And that you can literally walk through walls of
Nice.
that.
Yeah, so I think that you're gonna take that, you're gonna apply that to these vans, and what it feels like it's like the van doors open for you, but the van door on the other sides are open. So yeah, you are just gonna traverse this labyrinth. I think from what Mott's seeing, it's almost like Nadine disappears from view, and the TV turns to static. And Nadine, pick two. Once you get, because they're gonna determine what you'll find in the next area.
So I'm gonna pick. There's something valuable in the next area, and there's a potential ally in the next area.
Okay, cool. So I think once you kind of like traverse through like these vans, you're going to who? You know what? Give me some time to think about that. Let me cut to the next person, and then definitely, definitely for sure, we'll see what these two things that can help you out will be. So let's cut to AJ. Just to see, just to color in what Mott's seeing. When it cuts to AJ, and you see it in the screen as well, AJ looks like they're talking to some. It looks like the static comes back onto the screen, and you see AJ standing in the middle of this square. But it looks like a bit of the static didn't, stayed, and it looks like AJ is talking to like the static thing shaped like a person. So AJ, not Mott. No, we're not calling him that. The other Mott, ask you a question.
What was the question again? Sorry.
Why the hell would I hang out with someone like you?
Right, sorry, I misunderstood the previous scene. I thought that was Max that they were.
Oh,
Right. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is Mott. This is
Yeah.
this is-
Yeah. Look, I know he does what he wants. It's Mott came round to our place one time, and I fixed her a plate of food, and we chatted a bit, and they kept showing up. And he seems cool. I like Mott, and I don't know, we just seem to get on.
just seem to get on. I think as her hand squeezes you tighter. What the hell am I meant to do with that?
I don't know, stick it up your ass, I guess, if you have one.
He backhands you. You're not gonna take harm, but they just do that, and you're kind of and they're clinging onto your hand. Make sure like you just don't get away from them. Don't be mouthy with me. I'm holding all the cards here. I think he kind of like looks around and says like, I really don't get it. You're a piece of meat. You're just flesh and water. And why would someone like me ever be interested in something like you?
I'd know. Have you ever tried talking to someone in a a way that doesn't involve restraining them?
I think they smirk and squeezes your wrist a bit harder. And that will be someone like you, right? Someone terribly friendly. Probably friendly enough to someone like me.
I'd know. Whatever floats your boat. I don't make the rules.
I think they kind of scoff. And they're gonna release you. But they kind of like toss you. So you're gonna like land on like your ass. And they're kind of like flexing their hand. It says, you lot. You're fragile. You're tiny. You people come into this place, get a bit of power, and then you do what you do. It's just flame out, burn away. And then the next lot of you comes in. Think you get a bit of power, then you burn out again.
But you need us, don't you? Or you're intrigued by us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking now. So what is it that you want?
Ooh, that's a question and a half. I think that question rocks them a bit. And I think, just to clarify this to Mott, what you see, Mott, you can barely hear what the static person is saying to AJ, but you can kind of hear your voice saying all this. But it's your voice in a way that you've never heard yourself say it, which is cold. And yeah, the other mod just says, "Well, I wish I fucking knew that, don't I?" And I think the world around you kind of like ripples as they're very angry what you just said. And they say like, "Well, if you think we're so fucking beholden to you, then fine. Your squabbles with yourselves. I'll leave that up to you." And they kind of click their fingers. And around you, the vans kind of start repositioning yourselves very violently around the two of you. And they say like, the sooner you lot just kill each other off, the better for me. I don't have to deal with any of you. And
For a metaphysical force, you seem awfully sensitive.
They don't. They got just this like ugly, like sort of sneer, and this is the point where I wish most PBTA games have like a insult a person very, very hard move. If you're watching this, Jay, that's a recommendation. But yeah, the vans.
I actually have that move.
Oh yeah, you do. Do you?
Yeah, it's called "Hey Asshole."
Ah, shit. Oh, that's
Am I
really
near enough to be able to use it?
You're not here in the scene, so but yeah, I think just to like move things along. Actually no, I do want some sort of role. Just to like, I think because the vans are kind of like violently moving around you, I think you're gonna need to like flow through water, AJ.
Sure thing.
As Notmot is violently rearranging the scenery around you.
That is a 7.
Hey!
Just.
All right. So on a hit, pick one.
Sure thing. Flow like water. I think actually I'm where I need to be. I think as I kind of dodge the incoming, as I'm like trying to dodge around the incoming vans, I think I see like an actual path maybe amidst the general weirdness. I start running towards.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think. Yeah, the van's kind of clear, and the van's kind of move around, and other moth just kind of like vanishes. But as you run, and you'll see this on the screen, real moth, our moth, it sounds like a Star Wars alien, our moth. As AJ kind of runs, like almost runs through like the static as it fades away. You feel this as well. You feel like the jolt of this force that's not in this part of this metaphysical realm. So you're gonna mark static. Farmy, AJ, as you kind of run, and you see as you run through this path and you're dodging all these fans, you'll see a sight in the distance, and I think you're gonna jump. Almost like a van stops in front of you, and it opens a door, and you jump through the open door and past the other open door. And when you kind of roll, you tactical roll into standing up, you're again in another clear space with all these vans, and in front of you is a gigantic blob of Chris's. There's a Chris head, a bunch of Chris heads. There's a TV on its stomach, and right in front of it is Mott. And Mott, who I think Mott you see in the screen, kind of like almost like a first-person view of AJ as he's running through the path, and he comes in and he sees what you're seeing, except he sees your back.
Mott, is it the real you this time?
Real me? You saw another me?
Yeah, just back there was. It was part of this. I don't know.
I think the Chris's say like, it is not. That creature was not part of this world, of this ward. It is an aberration, like your friend, like your friendship.
Wait, what? You weren't controlling that?
We are not in control of it, insofar as we are not in control of you.
AJ, we need to go back there.
The thing vanished. It was asking why we were friends. It seemed confused and angry, very angry.
I mean, I'm confused all the time, but I'm not usually that angry. Oh, man.
This whole place is fucked up. I don't know.
I mean, like, this usual weird, like, this thing here, but that's really interesting.
When you say usual thing, like the Chris head's not cock head again, as if like, no, we're totally normal. You're the weirdo here.
I mean, fair call on that part. Yeah, pretty weird. But so, how did you find it? If it's vanished, do you know where it went?
No, just like into thin air.
Crap.
It
I mean, at
is
least I know
an
it's-
aberration. Oh, sorry, go on ahead.
Oh no, that was pretty much me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the Chris's charm again. It is an aberration. It is not part of our system. It will be eradicated. I think the Chris heads kind of like just the entire blob just kind of like looms forward again, and again you can see that it's blocking the path towards the hospital. And
I can guarantee you that you'd learn more about me if you found out more about that. Maybe it has your answers.
And I think the Chris blob kind of like almost like shuffles as if like just thinking about it, and it's like it's a mass of limbs, but the suits still look very nice somehow in this shifting blob. And it says that it is a mystery. It is a mystery we will solve. It is a mystery our doctor will solve. But for now, we have immediate concerns. And I think almost like the blob kind of like steps forward to the two of you. And that concern is of security. And what looks like 100 pairs of eyes looks at the two of you. So let's cut to Lily as she awakens to her shadow self. What do we see?
I think you see a really dark, oily smoke starting to bubble up from the ground, little tendrils of it weaving and twisting and curling upward. She looks down and says, "Well, this is new." And as this smoke wafts upward, it covers and conceals her. And then there's a breeze and it starts to pass. And you see Lily wearing a cloak made of LCD material, which has a hood on it and it's floor length. And the color flickers. It starts as gray, and then you see a little bit of static on it. And then it shifts to a dark red that's almost black.
Ooh.
And suddenly, there's a pouch on this cloak that appears to be filled with varying explosive devices. Some of them handmade, some of them seeming to have been made in a factory, some of them that just don't seem possible to exist. And as she kicks Jack square in the nards, the quarterstaff flies out of him, but it's different now. It's made out of carbon fiber. It has a titanium scythe blade at one end and a titanium spike on the other. She grabs it as it drops toward the ground. Says, "Huh.
Nice. I think oh yeah, you wrote a 5 at that. You wrote a 6 on that move. But yeah, you feel this you feel again that static you've been feeling from this castle. But instead of wearing you down, it's spread your veins. You feel this you feel like you can burn this entire place down. It's that kind of power.
And I want to roll Hey Asshole just to start off."
All right. What do you say?
"Hey Asshole, I don't know what you are, but the last time I checked, my friend Jack wasn't made of Jell-O. And now you've pissed me off."
Roll +1s.
That's an 8.
Nice. On a hit, they focus on you. On a 7 to 9, pick one.
Okay, 7 to 9, pick one.
You hear a buzzing from my background, actually?
Just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit.
That's my phone. Give me a sec while I turn that off. I see. That's what it is. Bunch of book nerds nerding out about books. I'm like, okay. All right.
So
Okay.
I'm thinking I have a clear escape route.
Hell yeah. I think so. You say that, and I think so. Jack wasn't the only one person. There were 15 other people, though. They all kind of stand up, look up at you, and say like, "Jack is ours now." Jack, and I think the voice that speaks out from them isn't the Chris's. It's this woman's voice, and she says, "Jack needed something. Jack needed something easy, something he could rely on, because he was so tired. Everyone's so tired. So I gave them the only choice they could make. I took their burdens from them, and now they're mine." I think
You know who isn't tired?
Yeah.
Do you know? I'm not. And I'm not finished with you.
I think you hear, she laughs at that, as kind of like the 15 folks kind of like gets close to each other and start kind of like pushing into each other, and they start forming into another gigantic hand. And I think as they're kind of doing that, they're forming into a hand, and almost like the Jack is kind of like forming the little finger until slowly their features, their clothes or whatnot, turn into like this hand, and you can't tell where their hand is reaching from, but it's gonna reach out to grab you. But I think you see in the corner of your eye, just like you see what like Nadine saw when she saw through like the van, the images of the van. You see like a path through, like it's almost like all the vans open up, and you can see something. You can see a bit of light, what looks like sunlight, which you haven't had in this gloomy parking lot. So you see there, you have that route, as kind of like the hand reaches up to like swat at you. What do you do?
You know, I don't think this is something that's going to respond to blades or pokey bits or explosions. I'm just going to get the hell out of there.
Cool. Flow like water. Roll plus ones again.
That's a 9.
Cool. On a 7 to 9, pick on a hit, pick one. And on 7 to 9, your action's going to come with a cost. So you're where you need to be. Not a rebel is a clear path to you, or a particular threat isn't a problem any longer.
Well, I don't think this hand's a problem anymore.
Cool. Yeah, so the woman voice.
Live streaming is on.
Hello, Jitsi. Hi again. All right. So, this hand kind of like just brushes against you as you kind of like dart towards the escape route, the line of vans where the doors open, and I think you're just gonna mark static. I think you're still kind of raw from awakening your shadow self, so just mark static there.
Okay.
As you kind of rush in, and I think
now I'd like to suggest something, just a little bit of fun here.
Okay.
For flavor.
Okay.
Lily proceeds to do some Olympic level gymnast quality flipping and bounding and tumbling to get out of the way and evade the vans. It's not just straightforward sprinting past it and ducking and dodging. She throws some flavor in there, almost like a little bit of a middle finger, like, you can't get me, neener.
Nice.
And then she looks surprised, like, Where the hell did that come from?
Hell yeah! So I think you're gonna make as you make your way through. We'll cut to Nadine because Nadine, when you like make your way, you travel to the labyrinth to get to the next area. When you get there, again, it feels like sunlight. Is what it looks like, and when you get there, you're in this like weird space. And it looks like it shouldn't even belong in this parking lot of vans. In fact, you're in an office. And this office, it's almost like, yeah, you just stumbled into a place that shouldn't be in the parking lot. This office looks familiar, kind of, because, you know, Bordeaux Institute, kind of semi-uniform buildings. And there's actually, no, you tell me. What does Dr. Christina Boucher's office look like, Nadine?
It's look unnecessarily big. It's an office that is clearly not used, that is impeccably clean, way too clean, full of awards and expensive art. It's clearly everything there is designed to receive guests or meetings. It's designed only to present this position of academic trappings to which power is transmitted. It's not a place of work. It's not a place of learning. It's just, honestly, it's just another type of rod, a gilded one. That's what it looks. Maybe even more exaggerated, even more ostentatious, even more authoritarian and oppressive. This veneer of legitimacy borrowed and plastered on the walls.
Yeah, you can see all her PhDs on that well-stocked library. And I think, yeah, you kind of barge in and there's nobody there. Well, no, there's no one behind the desk. But there is someone on the like seat in front of the desk. They're kind of small. I think the last time you saw them, well, the first time you kind of saw them, they were coming out of that homeless building, escorted by a bunch of agents. They're that person Richard told you to look out for. I'm imagining they kind of they've got like a skirt and a big like a winter coat too big for them, which they shouldn't be wearing in summer. In summer, the New Orleans city. They got a beanie on, and yeah, this is Sherry McLaughlin, and they kind of like you kind of wince and kind of like turn when you kind of barge in, and they ask, "Who are you? Who are you? You're not Dr. Boucher."
Sherry, what are you doing here? This is not safe.
What? I thought it'd be safer than where I was.
That is a lie. That's how they keep everyone trapped. They make you think that there are no alternatives, so that whenever they throw you some scraps, you are willing to step into the trap. Come. There's always another way. Do not trust their lies. You're not safe here.
I think they kind of look around because you're in your dance macabre. I think they vaguely know who you are, but they can't tell because you're in your dance macabre. I think they kind of look and their eyes kind of fall because you also mentioned something valuable in this place. In what you see, you can see utilitarian. It all looks like it's meant to receive, but there's something that kind of like catches your eye on Dr. Boucher's desk, and it's a picture frame. and Sherry says like, I'm supposed to wait for the doctor to be here. What? Her offer sounded really good.
What did she tell you?
A bed, for like a few weeks, a chance to like slow down.
Yeah, and then what?
And then who knows? I'll get a chance to think. I've been living, where I've been doing. All I've been doing is running in place. I don't have a moment to figure out what I want to do, because all I've been doing is trying to live, trying to survive. Dr. Boucher said she'll give me that moment to stop and to think, a moment to just imagine what I could be.
Well, do you need a moment to that, or did you always knew? When do you stop thinking about the needs, running the rat race? You can hear amid the crowd, amid the noise, what you really desire. And when everything seems lost, and when you're a pit of despair, when you want everything gone, the thing that you regret not being able to do, can you hear it whispering through? You already knew, don't you, Sherry?
I think they kind of look at the shoes as they think about it, and then they open their mouth to answer, and then that's when Lily bursts through. From, you don't know from what other angle Lily bursts through, but yeah, she bursts in and she's looking hella dope. Yeah, so Lily, that escape route was towards this office, and Sherry kind of like freaks out. What the what? What's happening?
Check out this sick gear, dude. What the hell? You didn't tell me that coming here meant that I'd like look this fly. What the hell? This is awesome.
Come on, have you looked at me? Huh?
Look at this. I mean, like, it's like a mood cape instead of a mood ring. What the hell? This is awesome.
It's amazing. Now, I always knew you were very smart, Lily. I knew that you will be the one figuring out the secrets to moving across the labyrinth. We need to get Sherry here to safety and get to the others. And as she does that, she goes for the photo frame, just in case it decides to spontaneously explode for some reason.
It's not going to. Here's what you see there's a photo on the photo frame, and it is there's Richard Boulay, quite young. He's got a big thumbs up. It looks like he's at some sort of archaeological dig, I suppose. Looks like he's got khakis on. He's got a hat, sunny, and he's got his arms around this woman, who's also has a very awkward thumbs up, and this woman's has like black hair tied back, and she's quite short looking. She doesn't go up to Richard's shoulders, but she looks vibrant. She looks very happy. And when as you grab that photo, you look around and you see that Sherry's gone.
Oh,
Did I happen to see where Sherry went?
No, she just disappeared. They just disappeared.
She just
So-
vanished.
So does the woman on the photo looks like Christina, or I don't know?
Yeah, no, I think that's when you kind of like figure, oh, I've seen this woman before. Kind of. Yeah, that's definitely like meant to be like Christina. And I think when you grab it, I think the office kind of like falls away. And this is me kind of like this is me very transparently moving everyone in the same place, but just gonna get that out in the open. So the office kind of moves away, but you're still holding that picture frame, and it feels like the most solid thing. It doesn't feel like this phantasmagorial parking lot with all its weird like fascist crises. But that picture frame feels very solid. But when the office kind of moves away, falls away, there's Mott, there's AJ, and there's a giant blob of Chris's standing in front of you in the hotel, and the Chris's say, all security risks have been accounted for. We will now proceed to elimination. And
Huh. I'm just gonna chuck some bombs at him.
okay, all right. So first off, I am going to link the boss fight music from Persona 5 into the chat. You don't need to listen to that what this is playing, but imagine that's what's playing. It's kind of like you hear the gun. Sorry, refer back to Persona 5. You hear the gunshot sound, and we move into the battle. Yeah, you're actually gonna chuck some bombs at this Hemsworth. All right, cool. All right, so let me look at which specific move that is. Okay, you're gonna confront danger head on. That's what it sounds like. All right, cool. Roll for swords.
Confront it.
Oh, sorry, say that again.
I said, how else does one confront it?
Fair enough. All right, so yeah, roll plus swords.
That is a natural 12.
Wow, that is fab. So, on a
Didn't re-roll the assistance dice. My dice now say 666.
I saw that. It's like, ooh, spooky. All
The
right,
number of Lily.
Lily. Nice. So, all right. So, describe to me as this happens when you throw the bombs. What's the effect on it? So, what's going to happen is you throw the foe off balance. You're going to create an opening. Now, here's how fighting these like boss fight enemies work. You're going to need an opening to target one of its 3 qualities. And so, your action creates an opening for someone else to exploit. So that's how you do it. That's how you defeat these. You have to create openings to attack their qualities. But on a hit, you throw the foe off balance and you create an opening. So you've done that, Lily. But you're gonna take the brunt of their attack. On a 10+, you're gonna pick 2.
Well, hold up a second because I'm trying. Where is this move?
Oh, it's a confrontation moves. There's a 3rd page in the basic moves.
Okay.
Scroll to the very bottom. It's confront.
Okay, I see. Okay, now I got it. So it would have been nicer to roll low, correct?
No, because you pick 2. That means there's less things gonna hit you if you look at the list of there. Because you can either take 1 less harm, or the foe will focus only on you, or you don't mark static. So
I want to check something.
okay.
Okay. I am fearsome and commanding, and the foe is only going to focus on me.
Nice.
Now, has the foe hit me?
No, what's gonna happen is, so describe to me. Okay, no. So the bombs are gonna hit it, and it's gonna blow off a chunk of the Chris's. So everyone will see like a bunch of bodies kind of fly off. But it's gonna like it does this thing. It does this lolloping thing where it looks tall. It's like a 2-story blob, and it kind of moves forward. And as it moves forward, the top half kind of like protrudes feet. And so it's gonna land on a feet of a bunch of Chris's, and it's gonna like move towards you, um, Lily. But as it moves in the midst that blob, a big hand is gonna come and try and punch you. So that's gonna be the attack.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna in that case I'm going to roll with the blow.
All right, cool. So yeah, it is gonna hit you, but you're gonna take 1 less harm. This attack does 2 harm,
I'll
so
take-
you're only gonna get 1.
Okay. And then I'm going to use Hey Asshole.
Yeah. Before you do that, let's jump to another character. That's all right, because he's already got your attention. You've already taken its attention. So their focus is definitely on you. But let's cut to Mott for now. So everyone's just kind of popped off. Lily's come in with a badass mood cloak and has chucked a bunch of bombs. What do you do, Mott?
So does this mean there's an opening to strike at?
Hell yeah. There is absolutely an opening. And the opening is that this blob is kind of like shifting a lot to like account for, but it tried to shift to like account to all the 4 of you, but that one there threw a bunch of bombs. That's the target. So there's an opening for sure.
Nice. I'll call out to everyone and say, don't kill it just yet. It's got some information I need. Just like nearly kill it. And then I can talk to it. Before I run around the back. And I'll like try and avoid any of its weird Chris eyes. And strike to like throw it even more off balance.
All right.
On my flash cards to like cut off a chunk of Chris's.
All right. So you want to take advantage of an opening with is it stealth and guile, physical force, precise insight, or sorcery and sacrifice?
It feels kind of insighty.
Okay. All right. And what are you striking with?
My magical playing cards.
Which are damn cool. That's why I'm looking at the wrong thing. All right. So precise insight. Yeah, roll plus coins.
Can do.
Yeah, that should be playing this.
Oh boy. That is a 5.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's gonna happen is it hears your call, so it kind of knows what you're going for. So now it knows that like, oh, you want to keep it alive, eh? So you throw your cards, and a phalanx of Chris's kind of like forms as you throw, and like they kind of form into like. So what I'm imagining is like as this kind of like this blob is shifting towards, and moving that arm against Lily. There's this phalanx of Chris's, and it forms almost like a battering ram of them, and they're turned their back, so it's just a solid black wall of Armani suits, and it kind of like solidifies, and your cards just bounce harmlessly off it as it juts forward and smacks you straight in the face. Take 2 harm. Let's cut to you, AJ. Opening's still there. It hasn't closed up that opening because it's still kind of concentrated Lily, but it's deflected Mott's move, and you've heard Mott call out. What do you do, AJ?
Yeah, so I'll sort of spin my staff round and say, if he told me I'd be facing at some point a whole bunch of Chris Hemsworth clones, I thought it would be a lot hotter than this. I think he starts to like weave his arms around, and these sort of garlands of flowers start to grow longer. And I'm going to attempt to like throw out a long vine of like roses to like trip it up and bind it. So yeah, I think I'm going to attempt to strike at the opening with sorcery.
Nice. Roll plus cups.
That's an 8.
Nice. So on a hit, you're gonna damage one of the foe's qualities. You are gonna damage its omnipresent senses, just to say all the eyes and ears that it has. But okay, that opening's now gone. So you're down to 2 more qualities. I'm just gonna strike that in my list here. Cool. So on the 7 to 9, Arctic's gonna pick one. So here's what's gonna happen: you lash out and kind of like bind some of the krises, a good chunk of the krises. But it splits off, which doesn't make sense because it's just a bunch of bodies. But its concentration is still in Lily. But as it splits off, the chunk that you bound kind of like starts. Oh no! Here's what happens. A van door opens and a bunch more krises comes out and starts adding themselves to the chunk that you bound, and it looks like they keep adding themselves to it, and your flowers kind of strain from the as this kind of new blob forms. So let's cut to you, Nadine. The nice thing with Lily being that provocative is that the attention is still on her. So what do you do, Nadine?
Yeah, it's time to change that. So as Lily is under pressure, Nadine just steps in and out of the floor, using their mastery of the labyrinth to pop out just behind the blob, and swinging their violin, they try to test different points and weak points of the blob, force it to split into smaller parts, and trying to figure out what is the weakness of the jelly.
Cool.
So line it
Hell
up,
yeah.
I think.
Roll plus coins. So I'm listening to this music and I'm super pumped up. 8. All right.
So the foe makes you its highest priority, and the opening only lasts a few moments.
So what's the opening?
The opening is basically the jelly has to twist itself, and it becomes pretty obvious that there is a core within that is not adapting as well as the rest of the body, and that core is now exposed. But it's clearly sinking back again. So striking this core would be exploiting this opening.
Hell yeah! So here's how you get makes let me see, makes you its highest priority. So that one hand has punched Lily, and how you see this core is because a second hand starts forming from this blob and tries to reach blindly towards you. Lily, you see this core. You see, like, for a brief shining moment, you see like there's this like weird blobby light inside, as kind of like this blob, this half of the Hemsworths blob kind of like strains itself, and the hand that's grabbing you starts to go towards Nadine as well. So Lily, you got a moment. You see this opening. What do you do?
I'm going to flip my quarterstaff around to the pokey end, and I'm going to stab it.
Hell yeah! So that sounds like physical force or precise insight.
Yes.
Just so I know what stat you'll be rolling with.
Alrighty.
This is a strike.
I'm checking. Let's see, wands and cups. Well, obviously it's not stealth because I mean this thing was focused on me until a second ago. Unless I can try to play it that way. Like the shifted attention, I can now strike like a rogue.
Yeah, I think so.
All
I
right.
think that makes sense.
Then I'll roll with wands and let's see what we do here. That's an 11.
Hell yeah. So on that's it. You just do it. So tell me what this looks like when you kind of like poke at this blobby thing in the middle. You just stab it or stab through the Hemsworths.
I think I go completely through its body. Like I just run at it like I'm using this as a lance, and just go straight through and come out the other side, kind of dripping with some sort of ectoplasmic jelly goo, and say, well, that was kind of gross.
I think when you do that, the blob flickers. Both blobs, the one that's in the garland cage and the one that you just stabbed through, it flickers, and suddenly they're not Hemsworths anymore. They're a myriad different faces. Some of it you recognize. Lily, you recognize that woman you've been accosting for a while, and some of them are like just regular people. And that flickers, and then kind of turns back to like the Hemsworth mob, and then flickers back to the people. It's kind of like it doesn't roar, but it certainly cries.
And in fairness, I only costed her the once because Nadine accidentally hit that little button on her phone. I hadn't actually seen her before then. So, I mean, 5 minutes of accosting is...
they were kind of towering over you as you're waving a bottle at their face.
but that was only like 5 minutes. I accosted them for a while. I don't know.
Fair enough. A lot has happened since. You've been in this place for a while.
I have done a fair amount of damage.
Yes. All right. So, okay, you've taken out this quality overwhelming force, which is good. Mott, it's kind of like its two blobby forms are kind of like in disarray at the moment. You got an opportunity.
Oh, wait, I thought the opening was just struck by Lily.
Well, okay, I don't say not okay. Opportunity, not say opportunity for you to do whatever. Not say there's the opening.
Gotcha. Oh man,
I know what you want to do. I see you looking at that move of yours.
Oh, is it close enough yet though? Is it?
It's down to one quality, which is to say it's quite vulnerable.
I'll give it a shot.
Jesus, what do you do?
So I think Mott will like sprint in front of wherever the faces are looking the most, with like hands out wide, and just say, "Look, we both have information that the other one wants. We can work together on this."
Roll plus swords. I want to see how well this plea goes. You're confronting danger head on.
Sweet as. This is roll plus what? Sorry.
Swords.
Oh. There is another move I've been eyeing up called Evoke the Covenant, where you can roll plus rank for a covenant instead of another stat.
Ooh, yeah. All right. Hold on. Let me double check that move just to see. Yes, once per delve, you may draw on a covenant for strength in the castle. All right. Which covenant are you rolling with?
Oh, it's got to be Max.
Yeah.
The one who gave me the courage to stand out of the crowd and in front of a giant mob of Chris Hemsworths.
Well, he's kind of flickering back and forth into like being just a bunch of nondescript, almost more real faces, like the Chris Hemsworths, because you're dealing with Hemsworths. They felt unreal, but it's moving back and forth to like actual people's faces. So yeah,
It really doesn't help.
Roll plus
All right,
2.
it's the +2.
Yeah, it's your rank, your bond with Max.
That is a 10.
Ooh, hell yeah. So let's see. On a 10, yeah. Okay. First, pick 2 from the confront move.
Where's the confront move? There it is. I'll go with the first 2. Roll with the blow and fearsome and commanding.
I think the blob kind of like stops screaming, and kind of like very suddenly stops and just looks at you, Mott, and say like, what we need from you, what information you can give, it is in service to our doctor.
That's right.
What are your intentions towards our doctor?
I just
Never-
want your doctor to
Oh god.
not be hurting people. That's all.
I think the blob kind of like kind of leans forward, and then when it speaks with just one voice, and it's kind of like, as in one voice, as in just one voice, as in not like 20 different voices speaking the same tongue. No, everyone here just hears one voice, and the voice says, and it's a woman's voice, and again, it has been a while. It was only 5 minutes, Lily, but it's the voice of that woman, and says, "We paid the price to look away. I paid the price to look away from what Dr. Boucher does. As far as I'm concerned, as far as everyone here should be concerned, I am complicit in what she does. So if she must fall, then I must fall with her." Yeah, everyone can hear this as well. And technically an opening has been made, which is that, this blob of Hemsworths in this realm is a representation of a specific person.
I mean, it's not too late to stop all this. But if you want to continue, then just please work together with me on this.
Who are you, really?
I really don't know. They call me Mott, but that's about all.
I think, shit, I should have prepared a name. Sorry, give me a sec. Okay, I should have prepared a name because I did not expect this to be happening. It's I think there is like a proper pause, and I think the action kind of settles down for everyone as everyone kind of sees like, Mott talking to like this blob of Hemsworths flickering into this blob of people, and I think I think you rolled a 10 there, so I'm gonna let you have this. The blob kind of like the two blobs dissipate, like it bursts in like a shadow sort of mess, and when it kind of like dissipates, left standing there, kind of like in the middle of like the gap between the vans towards the hospital, is, say, woman in her late 20s. She's wearing like sunglasses. I could be wrong with her description from the last week's pod, but who cares? She's got like a blonde ponytail, and she kind of takes off her glasses and says, "Nice to meet you, Mott. My name's Joe. Well, my name's Josephine, but friends call me Joe."
Nice to meet you, Joe.
It'd be nicer to meet you on the other side.
I can make that happen.
I think she kind of turns to the other three. How's the other three feeling, actually? As kind of as Mott makes friends with that blob and is turned back into a person.
I don't have to fight it.
Oh my. I always knew that Tormod was something special, but I never know that Zir were this special. And Nadine starts going, amazing.
Ah, shit! I realized that move that you're trying to trigger Mott depended on a roll, but I just I just went ahead as if you hit that roll. Whatever. Do you not just roll plus cups with me just to see if it will hit? But AJ, yeah, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I think AJ he'll be kind of twirling one of these like vine tendrils around almost like a lasso. But yeah, he's going to let Mott talk it out with her because it seems to be working. So
Okay, cool. And Mott rolled an 8, so I don't need to change anything. So we can still pressure on. And I think, yeah, after Mott says the thing, Joe, and this lady in the suit, turns to the all of you, kind of asks you to like beckon and says like, I can't say much while we're in here, but it looks like the four of you are used to coming into a place like this. Were you the ones who dealt with that foreman?
yeah, that was us.
Then you have a good shot of taking on the doctor, but just know that she's not someone who's unaware of this place. She's not someone who just has a counterpart here. She knows about this place. She's using this place. So I'll make sure whenever you come back here or not, you don't have to go through that labyrinth. You can just start in front here. But just be prepared. Because the doctor knows you're coming. Be prepared not just here, but over there.
Thank you for all of your help.
It's the least I could do. Well, yeah, I think she kind of like looks. She kind of there's a bit of shame in her look, and then she kind of realizes, oh, there's Lily there, who's waving a bottle at her. She kind of flinches away, and I think I'm gonna ask one last thing before we all leave this place. I think that hold on, let me double check something. Just check some moves. Actually, no, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out something. Okay. Here's what you need to do. I think I need to ask one last roll from you, Nadine, because you feel the picture that you grab. You can feel like just a bit of that sort of staticky energy, and it feels like if you're gonna want to like attune to the energy here before you leave. This token that you got, Nadine. So I'm asking you to roll plus cups. You drink deep. I'm just saying right now because the way this game works is that you can't fight the final boss of a dungeon until you take an attuned token from the dungeon into the mundane realm and tune it to that person, to that vassal. So I'm just telling you to do this now to save you some grief. So robust cups for me. What'd you get, Nadine?
What exactly I have to roll? I don't get it.
Oh yeah. So there's a move called Drink Deep. When you tune yourself to a token of mundane world, I'm just saying you should do that now before you get to the mundane world, so you have an attuned token.
Mm-hmm.
Because to fight the final boss of a dungeon, you need to take an attuned token from their dungeon into the mundane world. So you want to attune that token you got, which is the picture frame.
Plus caps, right?
Yes.
10.
Yeah, hell yeah. So on a hit, you attune to the token and you ask a question.
What did the castle promise the vessel? What did the castle promise the doctor?
Let me see. What's the doctor's motivation? Oh, it promised the castle. The castle promised the doctor that she'll have the means, the time, and the people to experiment on, the people to like wink out the street, to give her the chance to be the best doctor she could be. Castle promised her power and excellence. And yeah, I think we're gonna leave it there. Well, there's some roles like coming out of the dungeon, but we'll do that next week. So yeah, I think okay, what's the last shot to get of everyone as they kind of come out of the dungeon for now? It's kind of like the last shot we get.
Kind of look around at everybody and say, so who's going to explain to me what the hell just happened?
That was what I was trying to do since the beginning. I guess this is a conversation to have over some gumbo, huh?
Well, vegan gumbo, but sure.
Nice. What's the last shot we see of yeah, go on. What?
Oh, sweet ass.
Yeah, sorry, you saw you unmute there. So go on.
It's like, oh, did I do it too soon? Yeah, I think we see March still like staring at the hand. And I think as Mud is like remembering that scene of AJ and the nigger Mott speaking, we see like the same kind of staticky distortion appear in the markings. And just like Mott staring contemplatively at Lat.
Yeah. Cool. And AJ?
Yeah, so I think AJ's going to come up behind Mott actually and say, look, Mott, what happened in there? I think you guys have it. I'm going to stay with Max and make sure that nothing happens.
Please do. I think Max might be on the doctor's list.
Yeah, they were already in the list of the construction worker, well, foreman, I mean. And Nadine, they summoned their notebook and write it down. And we still need to get Sherry out. She'll do this as soon as possible.
Cool. Yeah, I think we'll just end it. We'll wrap it up there. Thanks very much, folks. I think okay. I think as you all kind of leave, I don't know how you leave the metaverse. Just like I think, yeah, probably you should probably still have your phones somehow. And if you want to leave, you just leave. And there's some roles. We'll do that next week. And I think as you leave, we just got a last shot of like, peeking through the vans. Yeah, this other Mott with the dark red shifting suit is their face of many colors, just watching. And yeah, thanks very much, folks, for another rambunctious session of Voidheart Symphony. Again, I always like to get back on the record that y'all are fantastic and y'all are great. And I'm going to stop the broadcast there. Thanks very much, folks. Again, folks want to check out the Gauntlet, links down below. If you want to check out Voidheart Symphony, links down below. Thank you all very much. So long and good night, YouTube. Let's stop this live.